Me, female 34, and my husband 33, live in a 2-bedroom apartment. He recently started attending online therapy. Reasons? No reason in particular. No losing family members, no recent traumas or accidents. He just says he feels too overwhelmed with work. He works a demanding job, but I won't mention it because I don't want him to be judged for it. He wanted to let off some steam and attend therapy. I 100% encouraged him and said go for it. However, these therapy sessions have been happening for 3 months, and he has 2 sessions in just one day. He says he found another therapist, which is illogical to me, but anyway. He'd stay in the bedroom for hours on end, preventing me from coming in. I'm talking 3 to 4 hours a day. Whenever I walked into the bedroom, which was only twice, the laptop gets slammed shut, and my husband would just stare at me confused. I pointed out how rude it was to do this to his therapist, and he aggressively replied, "What's really rude is the way I barge in while he's trying to have his therapy session." He told me if I walk in one more time, he will take matters into his own hands. Yesterday I had an emergency and had to get inside the bedroom to get my pad pack in my closet. I kept knocking, but he didn't answer. So I walked in quietly, but he immediately shut his laptop and looked enraged, then said, "Oh, so we're doing this? Okay." Then he gets off his chair and starts lashing out, saying I'm struggling here and you don't even pretend to give a crap anymore. It's called privacy, and you should respect that. Now get out. So I got out and he locks the door. I was fuming at this point, but managed to get my pad before he kicked me out. Then out of respect, I waited till his session was over and started arguing with him about how utterly bad it was of him to lock me out of the room that's supposed to be a shared space between us. He said he had to lock me out because of my barging and snooping and continuous disrespect of his privacy. I straight up said he needed to start having his therapy session somewhere else, since it's not okay for him to keep the bedroom busy for 4 hours. That's just too much. He said I could go in and take whatever I needed before he locks the door, but I won't take all my stuff out. That is not logical to me. I told him he could take his laptop and go anywhere else, whether in the apartment, coffee shop, car, or even the parking lot. He shamed me and said that this is his apartment too, and that I was negative and disrespectful instead of supportive and understanding of his situation. We've been arguing about it for hours until now. So now I'm leaving this to you. Am I wrong for asking him that? Edit. One, I'd like to clarify, this isn't every day but multiple days a week. Not the idiot. It is not normal to have 3 to 4 hours of session a day. No therapist would allow that. You need time to process what you talked about, think and prepare for the next session, and not think about anything between sessions. So a normal rate would be 1 hour each week. I see 3 possibilities. Number 1, he's either getting ripped off by someone. Number 2, he is in some kind of group sessions where he has to be online several hours a day, which is normally for people on the brink of a residential admission. Number 3, or he is lying to you and doing something else on the computer. Either way, how is he affording this? One session could cost between 50 to 100 euros an hour. I would advise you to talk to him. What is he doing all these hours? Is there maybe a part of it he can do outside of the bedroom? I suspect there is more to this than meets the eye. Also, the issue is apparently stress from his highly demanding job. How on earth does he have the time for 3 to 4 hours a day of therapy on top of the job? Is he just basically in therapy the whole time he's not working or sleeping? That's certainly not giving him time to process anything. I couldn't imagine just slamming the laptop shut on a therapy session. Asking the therapist to hang on a sec when you're paying, sure, but who cares if your wife sees the therapist on the screen? That's why I don't think it's a therapy session. I think online gambling. He's not doing actual therapy for 4 hours. Instead, he's slamming the laptop shut and yelling at you because he's doing stuff he shouldn't be. That's why he can't do it anywhere else. OP, you are not the idiot. I don't believe for a second that this is therapy. He's video chatting with another woman. Check on your household finances to see what money is going out or coming in. Try and talk to his friends or family, and maybe put up a spy camera in your bedroom to catch him at whatever he's doing. I'm so sorry you're in this situation. I am 2 years older than my brother. When I was about to go to college, they said they didn't have the money, and it massively messed up my plans because they have a high income, so I can't get aid and scholarships. I moved out. I started working because I want to save up before going to college. I started college the same year as my brother did. I always assumed my brother was loading up on debt by going to a really expensive private school. I saw a story he posted bragging about having his schooling paid for by our parents. I texted him and he said he was just bragging online. But I asked Mom, and she's not a good liar, and she fessed up that they were paying for it. It still makes me really angry. I have better grades. I have a better application. But all of that doesn't matter. Nothing I ever do matters. I have not visited home since that day. I worked so hard for my grades. I just don't understand why they don't care. I did all the right things, and they still care more about my brother. My dad is sick. He has cancer. It's pretty bad. My mom is begging me to come back and see him. He's upset too. My brother called me and yelled at me for being a horrible daughter who was a greedy witch. I am worried sick for him, but I can't put myself through visiting him. I'm just barely holding on emotionally, but I know they need my support. But am I being a huge idiot by not doing it? Not the idiot. Your parents treated you as if you were lesser than your brother. You have no obligation to see your dad. What your father is experiencing is the consequence of his own lies and favoritism. That family is toxic, and your brother is downright abusive. Greedy? That's first-rate psychological projection there. Do what's best for your mental health. I agree, but OP seems like a compassionate person, and not seeing your dad may be something that haunts her down the line. OP, you are not the idiot, whatever you decide, but really think about the long-term impact on you. Possibly there is a half measure of sending your dad care packages and cards, but not engaging fully, so that you don't get conned into becoming a main caregiver or offering blanket forgiveness that you're not ready to give. Then you can look back with fewer regrets since you showed compassion and kindness. Jumping on to say that I didn't speak to my idiot dad for 12 years. I got a call out of the blue from my little brother one day that my dad was in the hospital dying and did I want to come say goodbye. I politely declined. People called me heartless and said I would regret it. I never have. Now I know that OP and I are different people with different stories, but I just wanted to say, you don't have to make other people happy at the excuse of your own well-being. Above all, protect yourself. You are under no obligation to put someone else at ease, even a dying person. Not the idiot, but I worry from how you framed the ends of this post that you'll come to regret this later if you lose your father and do not see him beforehand. Please consider carefully what you need here. They have let you down terribly with their favoritism. That is extremely cruel, and I have to assume rank misogyny. But we still sometimes love those who wrong us. And so I would suggest you think carefully about whether you want to let their bad behavior rob you of any chance at time with your father. Don't listen to their raging. Ignore any attempts at pressure, but think about what you need here and then act accordingly. We've been married for almost 10 years, love each other very much. We are currently living in the third city since we got married. The first city was fine for 3 years. Then she complained about her job, quality of life, how expensive it was. So after a few weeks of planning, we moved to a smaller town. I found another job, she was happy, everything was great. 5 years later, she started saying she missed her family a lot and wanted to be closer to them. Finally, she got sad and almost depressed, so we moved again to be close to her family. Now we're close to her family. I started a new career again. She's super happy. Until last month when she got her first job here. She said the boss is an idiot, that she can't work there, and also said that maybe it was a mistake moving close to her family because her mom is now too involved in our lives. I lost it. I told her she needed to suck it up, that I moved twice because of her, and that I had horrible bosses, but I had to keep going because we needed to make money. I told her she needed to grow up and stop being a little kid. That started a huge fight that is far from over. She said that I hurt her more than I could imagine, and I told her that she needed to hear that and that I'm tired of doing everything for her all the time, that now she needs to be on my side. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and I genuinely think she needs therapy. Moving doesn't mean you leave your problems behind. You pack up and move them with the rest of your stuff. And happiness isn't a destination, it's something that you take with you. I agree, not the idiot for sure, but sometimes moving can help. It's not a guarantee or anything so solid, but there are times when being in a new environment can really make a big difference. That said, if you try big city, small town, and near the parents, and you're still not happy with your living situation, I don't know what fourth place you could go to that would make a difference. Everyone's the idiot here. She needs to figure out what she needs. It would help if you talked to her before you blew up after your second move. Like, hey, I know you're unhappy, but I don't want to keep moving, so let's think about it more. This should have been a conversation, not a fight, and the brainstorming should be about your options individually and together to make things better where you are, OP. You are the idiot. You're listing the moves like grievances against your wife that you never voiced. Moving 3 times within 10 years really doesn't sound that outlandish, especially if you guys are relatively young with no children. Lots of people like to move around a lot. If you didn't voice your concerns respectfully in the past, why would she think anything was wrong? Don't yell at your wife, man. Years ago, in my early 20s, I was contacted by my ex from high school, telling me I had a daughter, Sarah, who was already 6 at the time. It was a pretty huge shock to me. I was still young and had no idea how to be a father to a young kid. But I met her anyways. I know it was pretty dumb of me to have just taken my ex's word for it, but I genuinely thought Sarah was mine. So I met Sarah a couple of times a month for 4 months to get to know her. I even took her to Disneyland once. My brothers had known about her, but they were surprised when they found out I never asked for a paternity test. It didn't even occur to me until we had that talk. So right away, I told my ex I wanted a paternity test. And what do you know, the kid wasn't mine. That's when she confessed she knew who the father was, but he died when Sarah was a few months old, and she just wanted her daughter to have a dad. I stopped having contact right after and told her to find another father figure for her daughter. Through the power of social media, Sarah, now 18, found me and initiated contact. At first, I had no idea who she was until she mentioned my ex's name. As it turned out, my ex never told her the truth, only that I, quote, had to go, whatever that means. But Sarah's been trying to find me, I guess, and wanted us to have contact. I didn't want to be the one to tell Sarah, so I said, speak with your mom about why I wasn't around. Ex finally told her, I guess, because Sarah messaged me again, asking if we could meet. She said she knows I'm not her father, but I'm the only one she knows, and she would still like us to have something between us. I told her it would be better if we didn't. Yes, I was in her life for a short period, but we are both strangers now. I have my own life with my own family, and she should focus on making her own family with people she cares about. Sarah was not happy with it. She sent me more messages and tried to video call me. I told her we wouldn't be having more contact and blocked her. A few days ago, I found out she contacted my other family on Facebook, my sisters and one of my brothers. They heard her side of this and are saying that I'm too hard on the kid. My sister says she may not be mine, but I'm still the only father figure she had in her life, so why not continue being that for her? It feels so insane to me. I have a wife and a son. She's not my daughter, so it's hard to see how not wanting any more contact between us is something bad. I told my family they were free to take up the mantle, but I won't have anything else to do with her. But their argument is she wants me as a father figure in her life, and that's why I'm too heartless with her. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I don't think your family is doing her any favors by encouraging her illusions of being connected to you. I do have sympathy for her. It sounds like she spent her life believing you were her dad and can't let go of that emotional headspace. I hope she gets therapy to work through it. You were her father for 4 months. I wouldn't be surprised if she would have completely forgotten about you, except for the fact her mother probably named you as the father and kept up the pretense and told her stories, flaming the fires of her imagination. I guess you could write her an email detailing how manipulative and how much of a liar her mother was, and that you spent a total of 4 months thinking you were her father. You may have grounds to charge your mother with slander too. I agree. It feels like she's been replaying those 4 months in her head for 12 years. She's a lost kid who now has lost, in her mind, a possible fatherly connection, while being told that her mother is fabricated over a decade-long story about a dad that left her, that she never had. She deserves someone to help her and take care of her. However, I think that OP needs to let the family know to cut off all contact with her. Let him address the situation with her one final time and let her down as easy as possible. My heart breaks for this girl, and I hope she can get the help and closure she needs. I'm a 19 female, and I've been a picky eater my entire life. I don't have any dietary restrictions, but I usually hate most things I eat. So my family went out to a hibachi restaurant and forced me to come with them. Normally, my mom will buy me fast food when we go out to dinner, but she didn't stop this time because we were running late and advised me to get the hibachi chicken and I'll live. I complained that I'd hate it, and my mom said I should try it because I might like it and because she had been letting me live off of chicken nuggets and instant ramen for too long. But I don't like most other foods, so I had some Burger King delivered to the hibachi place and ate it while the rest of my family enjoyed their hibachi. Everyone in the restaurant looked at me funny, but I didn't care and just enjoyed my chicken fries. When we got home, my mom said I embarrassed them by getting fast food delivered in the restaurant, but she didn't stop for me, and I paid for the delivery myself. Am I the idiot? Edit: no, I'm not autistic, and I don't have any sensory issues. I literally just don't like most food. You are the idiot. If you're going to make a spectacle of yourself, stay home. The parents have no obligation to stop and get you fast food if you're picky. If you're 19, you're old enough to get over these irrational diets. So don't cause a commotion for some Burger King. You honestly sound incredibly spoiled and ungrateful. I'm shocked the restaurant even let it happen. Most places do not let you bring in outside food, especially food with logos all over it. I am also a fairly picky eater. I mean, not this level, but still. And I went to a hibachi restaurant for the first time recently, and it was amazingly delicious, like absolutely level 10. I would have loved this as a child when I was extremely picky. Why didn't I know about this my whole life? Delicious. Everything you don't try at least once could be you missing out on your absolute favorite food for years and years. Seriously, this. It is so rude to bring outside food to a restaurant unless you have some dietary restrictions, allergies and whatnot. But even then, having fast food delivered is just beyond outrageously rude. I don't see why OP can eat chicken fries from Burger King, but not eat plain grilled chicken? You are the idiot, OP. Grow up. If you don't want to eat any, then don't. But don't have food delivered to a restaurant. It's just disrespectful to the restaurant where you took up a seat and to the staff who I'm sure had to clean up after you. OMG. OP, tell me you didn't leave your trash for the restaurant to pick up after you. If that's the case, is there an option for you are the biggest idiot in the history of idiots? Ugh. Next time, do everyone a favor and stay home. You're 19 and clearly coddled. I'm embarrassed for your family, honestly.